You mentioned before that you have a foreshadowing announcement that you'd like to make. What is it?
Well, let's call it a nightmare. Okay? First of all, because the Democrats look like they might take back the House and might have investigative abilities, and because I know that the original 911 was an inside job, I don't think the neocons are going to leave office quietly. I believe there is a very high probability that there will be another September 11th attack during the week starting Saturday, 3 weeks before the American election. Traditionally, and not a good tradition, they have a thing called the October surprise, where, since Reagan, something devastating comes out to cause the Americans to rally behind the Republicans. And September 11th, another September 11th would be that. They would automatically cause the world and Americans to rally behind the president, and would give Bush the excuse to declare martial law and suspend the elections. Now, there's been talks of various types. The first one I heard was the release of a nuclear weapon, the explosion of a nuclear weapon on board a container ship off the coast of South Carolina or Texas, Galveston, Texas. We believed this would happen because the military was doing exercises for such a thing off the coast of South Carolina. Now we are hearing that there's possibility that a cruise missile will attack a United States aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf and be blamed on Iran, which would be an excuse for the United States to attack Iran. And third, the possibility of either biological avian flu, SARS, or other type biological attack on the United States, or a chemical attack, or a, quote, dirty bomb. Now, the United States government, the people in the econs are in a bind. If there is a new 911, that means they have failed to protect us. But if there isn't one, they lose power. So they probably want to split it down the middle. In other words, a dirty bomb, while it sounds horrible, would only kill a few hundred, maybe 1,000 people. And that means taking like a hand grenade and putting nuclear material, which they could say came from Saddam in Iraq, throwing it off the top of the Empire State Building or something, causing radioactive fallout over a couple of blocks, scaring the hell out of everybody. The same thing goes with a biological attack. Even though a biological attack is horrible, it too has a very hard ability to spread, especially when it starts out. So both of those could be limited, as well as the nuclear weapon inside a container ship off the coast. If they set off a nuclear weapon on a container ship off the coast of South Carolina, it would do minimal damage to the United States, not destroy the economy, etc. If they set it off in New York City, it would probably destroy the U.S. economy. So I don't think that's likely. These people are still, remember, behind money, behind keeping this thing going. So the saving grace is very ironic. We know Diebold and his brother's company rigged the 2004 elections in Ohio. The exit polls, the same system that we use to call the Ukrainian election rigged, were, if you do it statistically, 1.5 million to 1 against Bush winning in Ohio. So if they control the voting machines, they may not have to do it. They'll just say, oh, well, last minute everybody went behind Bush for some reason. But they still need an October surprise of some sort. And so next week, what's today? Today's the 19th. So starting on Saturday, so today's Friday, right?
Friday the 19th October.
So starting tomorrow, for 7 days, is the window for the October surprise. They did a test under Reagan. Barbara Honecker worked for the Reagan administration and the Bush 1 administration. And they set it up. They knew this is the window because 3 weeks before the election, is when the independents, the swing voters, the people who haven't made up their minds, start to pay attention. And that, they don't remember more than 3 weeks. It's like, you were talking about Foley and Abu Ghraib and the other torture and stuff like that. People have forgotten about it. They're watching the ball game. They're watching the porn channel. They're watching the fashion channel. They're out in the parks playing baseball or going to the ball game. The biggest problem, we have another saying, the biggest problem is the media, and the biggest weapon of the media is also WMD, weapons of mass distraction. And right now they've got to bring into focus that the American people need to support Bush or give him an excuse to declare martial law. There's an excellent movie out called V for Vendetta, and it's like what's happening today.